Hello and welcome back to Coding with Kenny G. This is the beginner series, and in this episode we are going back to scripting. So where we dropped off in the scripting was that we learned to create functions. One or more like tricky little mini difficulty spikes in terms of learning this stuff. But after a little while, it will be like riding a bicycle. Now we're going to continue that scripting lesson a little bit more in preparation for doing something fun with our turret, which is to be able to fire a bullet. But it does take a little bit more preparation in our scripting for you to understand what's going on. So let's get going. I'm going to close this down. And then we're going to open up the turret scene. So in the last episode, we prepared the turret model here and the scene. So now we are going to open up the scripting side of things again. So in the project view, I'm going to open up the turret script. Okay, so where we left off in the scripting was that we learned how to create a function that returned something. But now we are going to learn another thing that is related to functions, which is something called parameters. And I want to make a dedicated little episode to this so that it's more compartmentalized when you are learning each concept. So in the episode where we learned to create these functions here, the get turret name and get introduction, well, there's a keyword in front of there, get. But I did mention in that video getters and setters, because setters is part of that design paradigm where we can create a function that sets the value of a variable into something new. So I just want to show you that real quick right now. So typically these are done in pairs. So let's say get turret name, and then we'll have a new function. Oh, what's going on here? Oh dear. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. We're going to have a function called, for now, public void, because it doesn't have a return type. It's not going to return a result when we're calling this function. It's just going to do an action. So it's a void return type. Public void set turret name. And now the new thing is that inside of the opening and closing parentheses of the function, we are now going to include a parameter. A parameter is essentially a local variable written inside the parentheses here. And we're going to write string and we're going to call this variable new turret name to be distinct. This is a parameter. And we're going to, after the closing parentheses, insert our curly braces so that we can write code inside of here. And the only thing that we are going to do inside of this little function is that we're going to target the variable called turret name. So turret name is equal to new turret name. So we are assigning the value of turret name with what is coming in as the new turret name. This is kind of like a way to think about how variables can be modified. This is a more formal way of doing things where we are making functions for each of these things. But let me just create an example of actually using this function. So I'm going to scroll down to the start function here. And now programmatically, we are going to assign this turret a new name. And then we're going to display that we're going to call the debug.log get introduction thing again. So in the start function, just demonstrate how calling a method that has a parameter works. We're going to write it here. I'm going to write set turret name. And now I can hard code something inside here by entering the string quotation marks. And this is a new name of turret set by parameter. Just to be very clear towards you what's happening here, right? And then after the closing parentheses of the function, semicolon. Now at runtime, first, well, when the start function is called, first of all, it's gonna call this debug.log where we're calling our function to get an introduction that we covered in the episode called local functions. Now, after that one has completed, the compiler will go down to the next line here saying, okay, set turret name. We are calling this function. And then to display to you the effects of this, we're going to write debug.log and then call the get introduction function again. That's it. Cool. And then I'm gonna go back to Unity. Remember that in the previous episode where we set up the visuals for the turret and all, and the scene, we removed the hello world game object from the scene, and now the turret prefab has the turret script on it instead. So I'm gonna clear the console in the project view, and now I'm gonna click play, and now we're gonna see two debug lines here. Hello world, I am a turret, my name is Big Bazooka. And then the second line is hello world, I am a turret, my name is new name of turret set by parameter. This is to very clearly tell you what is happening with when we are using parameters. So I just stopped the play in Unity. Now we're going to go back to the script. So then we understand that now I could modify a variable at runtime during play by calling a function where we are modifying the variable value directly. So that's a function with a parameter, and a function can have many parameters. It's not just one. We can have well, actually, we are going to prepare, well, I kind of wanted to have this episode a little bit short so that the next episode can be a little bit longer, because in the next episode we're going to embellish this a lot with actually trying to create a function that will enable us to fire a bullet. So I'll stop the episode here. Now that we have learned how parameters work, then we should be pretty ready for building something more exciting. So I'll see you in the next episode. Like and subscribe.